Welcome back to the Haven, the Storyforge Haven channel, crafting tales for you to enjoy. We're passionate about sharing stories, from sci-fi epics to fantasy adventures, to spark your imagination. Today, dive into a fun, dystopian sci-fi thriller tale with Nexara, Signal of Defiance. Join our continued journey with a subscribe, and let us know your favorite scene or past story in the comments. Thank you for listening, and enjoy Nexara, Signal of Defiance.
Chapter 1. The Cracks at Home. My hands steady over the neural implant, its circuits catching the factory's harsh light. The mid-tier district workshop hums, clanging tools, whirring machines, Irin Varkas's voice slicing through. Stability is sacrifice, she drones from the hollow screen, her serene face flickering as a ghost from a long dead bitch who lingers on. Obey, and Nexara endures. My jaw clenches, coaxing a spark from the wiring. Another citizen's thoughts, soon to be tracked, controlled, I muse. I hate this job, but it buys Mira's rations, keeps her safe, a little left over every week I can put towards some fun, a surprise for Mira, sometimes for the neighborhood kids. That's enough, or it was until today. The shift ends with a klaxon scream. I shove my tools into my worn jacket, the scar behind my ear itching where my own implant sits, my own private hell, as everyone tells me their implant never itches. Outside, Nexara's streets are a concrete maze, neon signs flickering in the dusk. Sentinels, sleek drones with glowing visors, glide past, scanning for disruptive elements. I keep my head down, my parents' absence heavy as ever. When I was a kid, they drilled into me. Don't trust the drones. That was before their factory accident 16 years ago, when I was 16, Mira too. I've raised her since, clinging to their mantra. We don't abandon each other. Our apartment's a fifth-floor walk-up, cramped and cluttered with scavenged tech. I push open the door, expecting Mira's sarcasm or a half-eaten ration pack. Instead, I freeze. My sister, 19, all sharp edges, hunches over a table, her dark hair spilling across a gutted Sentinel drone. Wires snake to a cracked data pad, its screen flashing red. Mira, I say, my voice low. What the hell are you doing? She doesn't look up. Hacking. What's it look like? Her fingers dance over the pad, pulling code from the drone's core. This thing's got patrol routes. The rebel cell needs them. My stomach twists. The argument ignites like a spark in dry tinder. You're bringing that here? To our home? I step closer, my voice rising despite myself. The Omniscribe's watching Mira. One slip and we're reprogrammed, or exiled to the Ashen Vale. Her eyes flash, defiant, cutting me deeper than any Sentinel's taser. Nice job reminding of chains, Kael. Bet you would do great on the screens, she snaps, her words slicing open the guilt I bury every day while she continues her work. You're the one helping them, Kael. Fixing their implants, keeping their system running. You're complicit. I grip the table, knuckles whitening, fighting the urge to shout. She doesn't know the lies I've told inspectors, the risks I've taken to shield her, all to keep her alive. You think I want this? My voice breaks, raw with something I rarely let out. I do it for you. For us. My implant itches, a faint glow pulsing behind my ear, but I'm too angry to notice. Mira shoves the datapad aside, the drone sparking dangerously as she finally faces me. Oh, please, Kael, spare me the hero act. Mom and Dad would have fought, not played technician for the machine. Their names sting like a fresh wound. My hand drifts to the journal in my jacket, a leather-bound relic with cryptic signal symbols, all I have left of them. Before I can answer, the apartment's hollow screen flares to life. Irin's face fills the room, her voice cold with unnerving cheer. Disruptive activity detected in Sector 7M. Report for inspection. If you see something, say something. My heart hammers. I grab Mira's arm, but she yanks free. I'm not stopping, she says, her eyes blazing with that reckless fire I can't extinguish. The rebels need me. My belief surges. We don't abandon each other. But fear claws at me. Reprogramming, the ashen veil, her life. I step to the screen, activating my implant with a thought. Inspector, I say, forcing my voice steady despite trembling hands. If the alert is a disabled drone, it's mine. A repair project I don't have room for at my workstation. No disruption here. A pause. Erin's voice slides through my skull. Noted. Surveillance will be increased for a limited time. Compliance expected. Expect full report on results. Warning, you did not fill out requisition. Like always, she gets creepy happy. Thanks for putting in the extra effort. The screen dims, but my implant burns a warning. I turn to Mira, but she's already grabbing her jacket. I'm going to the cell, she says, not looking at me. Don't follow. Mira, wait! My voice cracks, fear spilling out. I reach for her, but she slams the door. I sink to the floor, clutching the journal. My hands shake, a sob tearing free. What if I can't save her? What if I lose her like I lost them? She was 2 when our parents died, and she blames them for leaving. I was 16, left with a 2-year-old sister to care for, and never blamed them. They didn't choose to leave us in a factory accident. They lost us at that same moment, and I wish she could see that. Outside, the air's thick with Nexara's chemical tang, filtered to keep the ashen veil's poison at bay. Sentinels glide through the neon-lit haze, their visors scanning the crowd. Mira's figure vanishes toward the lower districts, swallowed by flickering signs. My implant pulses again, a faint glow I can't explain. Something's wrong, different, but there's no time to think. A distant explosion rumbles from the lower districts, a rebel attack or Omniscribe crackdown. The revolution's stirring, and Mira's running straight into it. I tighten my grip on the journal, the signal symbol rough under my fingers, a sensation I've used my entire life when needing comfort or permission for a poor decision. I've faked reports before, rebellious choices as long as they don't risk Mira, but this feels bigger. Erin expects results on that drone, and I'll lie again to keep Mira safe. I won't abandon my sister, even if it means facing whatever monster is after her. Chapter 2. The monster reveals itself. Mira's gone, vanished into the neon haze of Nexara's lower districts, where the city's pulse beats raw and desperate. My boots crunch on broken concrete, littered with rusted screws and ash from the ashen veil's creeping poison, barely held back by wheezing air filters bolted to crumbling walls. The streets are a chaotic sprawl. Makeshift stalls of scavenged metal lean crooked, draped with tattered tarps, their flickering neon signs buzzing with half-dead slogans, rations, half price, no implants, no trade. Scavengers barter scraps, circuit shards, stale rations, stolen tech, under the cold glow of Sentinel drones' visors, their hum a constant threat. A kid hawks blackened water vials, his eyes hollow, while a woman trades a cracked data pad for a fistful of credits, her implant scar oozing. Another woman barters price with her time, as trade. The air stinks of chemical tang, stinging my lungs, mixed with the sour rot of uncollected waste piled in alleys. Graffiti scars the walls, signal symbols, defiant slashes of hope amid curses scrawled against the Omniscribe. Mira's out here, chasing rebellion in this dunghole, I think, my heart pounding. I scan for her dark hair, dodging a staggering drunk who reeks of synth booze, his implant flickering erratically. If I don't find her, this place could swallow her whole, I worry. My implant itches, a faint pulse I can't ever seem to shake, my private hell flaring. It's never been this troublesome like these last couple days. A commotion erupts ahead, shouts and shattering glass clogging Nexara's lower districts. Scavengers shove through the chaotic sprawl, makeshift stalls toppling, neon signs flickering as a small riot explodes. Fists slam faces, voices curse the Omniscribe, and a crate smashes into a stall, splintering wood across my path. Mira's out here, chasing rebellion, and this mess could bury her, I think, heart pounding. Stay low, find her. Don't abandon each other. I duck a thrown bottle, its shards spraying back on my boots after exploding against a wall. Trying to navigate out of the spreading unrest, I sidestep a scavenger swinging a rusted chain at another, blood streaking the concrete. This is what Mira's running toward? I can't let it take her. Screams erupt from one side of the street, and the crowd surges to avoid a danger, urging me to move. Sentinels glide in, visors glowing like predators. One fires a taser, and a scavenger, barely older than Mira, collapses, their implants sparking as they writhe. Disruptive thoughts detected, it intones. Erin's voice dripping fake cheer. Thanks for your compliance, Nexara. Another sentinel grabs a rioter's arm, twisting until a sickening crack echoes, the man screaming as he's dragged off. Mira's next if I don't find her, I think. Fear clawing my gut. Keep moving, don't get caught. I dodge a sparking stun baton, swinging too close, its buzz grazing my ear, and slip into an alley, my jacket snagging on rusted pipes. That's when I spot a woman cornered by another sentinel, her eyes wide with panic, clutching a cracked data pad. I shouldn't get involved, not with Mira out there, but her panicked eyes lock on mine, begging. I can't just walk away, not this time. My rebellious streak overcomes, sickened by the cruelty surrounding me. I pull a signal jammer from my pocket, scavenge from the factory to hide Mira and sometimes to skip tolls, and aim at the drone, almost hoping it won't work. If this goes wrong, I'm done. I hesitate for a moment before pressing the power button. A quick pulse and its visor flickers, confused. The woman bolts, grabbing my arm, her touch lingering, a shocking spark as she shifts from prey to predator in a moment. We dive behind a dumpster as the sentinel reboots. Thanks, she whispers, her voice shaky. She's wearing a soiled programmer's uniform, the badge torn off but her name tag, Terran Solis, still readable. That's either a stolen outfit or she's a defector, I think, as my attention snaps to a set of eyes looking at us through the crowd. I recognize her as Leah, the child of a former neighbor, now grown to 12 years old since I saw her last. Her eyes dart from us to the sentinel and back, clutching a ration pack as a treasure. And when her eyes lock with mine, I see the question she wants to scream. Why didn't I save her dad from reprogramming like I just saved this woman? I was on the street when it happened, and so was she. And those same eyes looked at me then, asking for help. She tightens her grip on the ration and disappears into the crowd, my heart sinking that someone so young could answer her own question. Taryn's story spills out as we slip through alleys. My brother, she says, hands trembling. The Omniscribe reprogrammed him. They didn't just erase him, they rewrote his mind. Her words hit too close. Mira's defiance, her hacking, it's a one-way ticket to the same fate. I grit my teeth, fear clawing at me. What do you mean by rewrote? Why'd you run? I ask, keeping my voice steady. Saw what they do, Taryn says. They don't just control thoughts, Taryn says. They rewrite them. My datapad has stolen files. Proof of reprogramming camps. Her eyes linger on me. A softness I miss, too focused on Mira. I lead Taryn through Nexara's underbelly, the lower district's chaos fading as we descend into the underground warrens. The air turns damp, heavy with mold and rust, the maze of tunnels twisting like veins under the city's skin. Salvaged lanterns flicker, casting jagged shadows on crumbling concrete where signal graffiti glows. Broken circles slashed in defiant red, a whisper of hope in this buried world. My boots slosh through shallow puddles, Taryn close behind, her breath quick. You do this often? She asks, voice low, a mix of fear and grit. Run from sentinels? Only when Mira drags me into it, I say, my tone sharper than I mean. She's out there diving into rebellion, and I'm stuck saving strangers. Taryn's eyes soften, catching something in my face. Your sister? She says. Sounds like she's trouble. I grunt, dodging a low pipe. Trouble's putting it lightly. She thinks she's saving Nexara. My gut twists. I can't lose her like I lost them. Taryn's hand grazes my arm, a brief warmth I barely notice. Family's worth it, she murmurs, even when they're a pain. Her voice cracks, and I wonder about her brother. But don't ask, not yet. The tunnel narrows, the air colder, like we're reaching the city's forgotten heart. A faint hum grows. Rebel tech, maybe. Or something older. We round a corner, and the passage opens to a rusted gate, its bars etched with signal marks. An old rebel stands guard, face weathered like cracked leather, a stranger with eyes sharp as a sentinel's visor. "Who's this?" he growls, nodding at Taryn, his hand on a scavenged pulse gun. "She's with me," I say, stepping forward. "Saved her from a sentinel. She's got files. Omniscribe camps." The old man squints, scanning Taryn's soiled uniform. "Defector?" he asks, voice grim. Taryn stiffens but nods. "Was a programmer. Not anymore." He studies us, then grunts. "Omniscribe's algorithms are tightening. They're predicting rebel moves. Hope you're worth the risk." He unlocks the gate, revealing a cavernous hideout. Makeshift bunks, flickering screens, rebels huddling over stolen tech. Signal graffiti pulses on the walls, a beacon of defiance. It feels like the end of a long run, a discovery buried deep. But Mira's not here. She's still out there, I think, gripping my journal's signal, my heart heavy with duty. Taryn's shoulder brushes mine as I was about to wish her luck to continue my hunt. A hollow screen flickers, Erin's face looming, her voice fake bright. "Curfew enforced. Disruptors will be corrected. Stay safe, Nexara." Rebels curse softly, their eyes darting, some clutching signal-marked knives. "Well, I guess we are here for the night," I say, half to myself and half to Taryn. "We need someone in charge," Taryn says, voice low, cutting through the hum of the hideout. "Someone who'll listen about the files." I glance around. Makeshift bunks of scavenged metal, screens patched with fraying wires, rebels hunched over stolen tech. The air's heavy with rust and desperation. "Let's move," I mutter, leading her through the sprawl. We dodge a cluster of rebels muttering about a riot. "Lower districts blew up a cache," one growls, past a woman sharpening a blade, her stare cold. I flag down a wiry guy fiddling with a busted drone. "Who runs this place?" He jerks his chin. "Vex. Back corner." We push deeper, the hideout's pulse thumping louder. Cracked consoles, pre-Omniscribe relics flickering. A stocky woman blocks us, pulse gun slung low. "What do you want?" she snaps, eyeing Taryn's worn uniform. "Need Vex," I say. "She's got Omniscribe intel, reprogramming camps." "Defector," the woman grunts. "Ex-programmer," Taryn shoots back, flashing her datapad with camp schematics. The woman squints, then relents. "Vex is tied up, I'll hear you." "Talk." Taryn steps forward, datapad clutched tight, her voice steady but with an edge. "I've got schematics, Omniscribe camps, reprogramming centers, patrol routes, guard shifts, weak points, everything you need to hit them hard." She flicks the screen, showing a grid of glowing lines. "This isn't just intel, it's a map to their guts." The woman leans in, eyes narrowing. "How'd you get this? You're a programmer. Why should we trust you?" Taryn's jaw tightens. "Was a programmer. Saw what they did to my brother. Erased him, rewrote his mind. I'm done being their tool." Her voice cracks, but she holds it together. "I stole the files, defected. You want proof? Check the datapad. It's all there." The woman grunts, glancing at the screen. "If this checks out, you might be useful. But if it's a trap, it's not." Taryn cuts in fierce. "I've got nothing left to lose." The woman studies her, then nods. "We'll see. Vex will want to look at this. For now, you're in. Don't make me regret it." Taryn exhales, a flicker of relief, but her grip on the datapad stays tight. Names rail. We need a place tonight, I add. She nods curtly. Bunks are scarce. Take that corner. Keep quiet. She points to a nook with a threadbare blanket on a slab. It's cramped, but it'll do. Taryn sinks down, leaning her shoulder against mine, the soft touch, a contrast to the surroundings. Thanks, she murmurs. I spot Mira in the shadows, slipping away with a group led by someone I don't know. Tall, aggressive, probably trouble. My relief in seeing her safe mixed with an anger at her recklessness. My chest tightens as I clutch the journal, the signal symbol rough under my fingers, its edges worn from years of hard choices. For a moment, I consider not following, to just stay with Taryn, letting Mira stumble into the mess she's chasing, letting the weight of her rebellion lift from my shoulders. The thought stings like a betrayal, clashing with the promise etched into me since our parents died. We don't abandon each other. The hideout feels smaller now, the hollow screens flicker, casting jagged shadows across the damp walls of the Warrens. A memory cuts through the haze. Mira at 6, curled against me as I traced the journal's symbol, her voice small but fierce. Will we be heroes, Kael? I'd sworn we would. That promise drags at me now, heavy as the air, thick with the hum of sentinel drones creeping closer outside. Irin's warning lingers, her voice a ghost in my mind. The monster of Nexara watches even here, its reach tightening around us. A sharp clang echoes through the cavern. Someone's mistake, maybe, but it sets my pulse racing. The rebels' whispers grow taut, and in the dim light, I catch Mira's face. Defiant, reckless, so much like Mom's. She's slipping into danger I can't name, and every second pulls her further away. I step forward, the journal a compass guiding me through the dark. I'll follow her, protect her, no matter what. The monster, the shadows, Irin's words, they won't take her. But as I move, a hand grips my arm. Taryn, her eyes wide, urgent. Kael, hold on. Look. She thrusts her datapad at me, its screen pulsing with red dots, tunnels locking down, sentinels swarming the lower districts. If you go now, you might not come back. The words hit like a punch. The signal symbol burns under my fingertips, a reminder that saving Mira might cost me everything. But standing still isn't an option, not when it's her. Chapter 3. The rival emerges. I pursue Mira. Taryn sticks close, her soiled programmer's uniform catching the dim light, her datapad clutched like a shield. The hideout's core is a cramped cavern of fraying wires and patched screens, the air thick with static and defiance. A crowd clusters around a crate, voices rising, and I spot her, Mira, her dark hair tied back, eyes blazing as she leans toward a tall figure, radiating reckless energy. Vex Taryn, the scavenger running her cell, stands like he owns the place. His scarred leather jacket and low-slung pulse gun scream street fights, but it's his voice, bold like a spark in dry ash, that pulls the room. We hit the Sentinel hub tonight, he says, slamming a fist on the crate. A bomb to crack their network. Show Nexara we're not their drones. My stomach lurches. A bomb? That's a civilian graveyard. I push through the crowd, ignoring Taryn's warning glance. That's a death trap, I say, voice cutting through the murmurs. Heads turn, and Vex's eyes lock on mine, a smirk curling his lips. He's my age, maybe, with a scavenger's grit and a charisma that burns like neon. Got a better plan, technician? He taunts, leaning forward. Or you just here to fix their toys? Mira's lips twitch, her sass ablade. Yeah, Kael, stick to your tools, she snaps, her words slicing deeper than Vex's. Some of us want to fight. The betrayal stings, sharp and raw. My sister, choosing this stranger's fire over me. I clench my fists, fighting the urge to drag her out. A bomb kills civilians, I say, keeping my voice steady. Kids caught in the blast. Use EMPs. Disable their surveillance, not the district. My technician's brain maps circuits, weak points. I can rig them, blind the hub without blood. Vex laughs. a mocking edge. Cautious Kael, is it? Saving Nexara, one wire at a time, your sister told me. Think the Omniscribe cares about your clean hands? He steps closer, his grip on my shoulder heavy, threatening. We need action, not excuses. Mira nods, her eyes fixed on him, drawn to his chaos like she's forgotten the death we've already seen. She's reckless, chasing their rebellion. But this is madness. Taryn steps up, voice firm. Kael's right. EMPs hit the target, not the people. Her hand brushes mine, a warmth I miss, too focused on Mira's defiance. The rebels murmur, split. Some nod at my plan. Others lean toward Vex's fire. He shrugs, smirks steady. Fine, try your gadgets. Don't mess it up. His datapad flashes, a signal I can't read, and he turns to rally his crew. The meeting breaks, and we plan the sabotage. My EMP ideas grudgingly accepted, but Vex's bomb looms, a shadow I can't shake. Mira sticks with him, her back to me, and my heart sinks. I focus on the work, gathering parts with Taryn's help, tools moving at the haste of a surgeon, racing the clock as I see the group already gathering for the mission. Vex calls to me. You ready, Techie? If not, we have Plan B. He laughs as he taps the bomb, causing laughter in the group to echo him. Their bloodlust is distasteful. I put the EMP in a satchel and join them, not saying a word, Taryn close by my side. The hub's outskirts loom in the distance, a fortress of steel and shadow under Nexara's chemical haze, the air stinging my lungs with its sour tang. We move as a group, me, Taryn, Vex, Mira, and his crew of scrappy rebels, skirting alleys and building edges. We hug the shadows of crumbling tenements, neon signs flickering out under curfew's blackout. The drones patrol in tight patterns, visors glowing red, humming like predators in the dark. My boots scrape against cracked concrete, dodging puddles that shimmer with Ashenvale's poison, each step a gamble. Vex leads, his stride bold, but his crew's sloppy. One of them, a wiry kid with a scavenged pulse gun, kicks a loose pipe. It clatters, echoing like a gunshot. A sentinel's visor snaps toward us, its hum sharpening. The kid hisses, fumbling for his pulse gun with shaking hands. He looks at Vex with terrored eyes. Vex's face is cold, his eyes burning his order into the kid's soul without breaking the necessary silence. A gulp in his throat, the kid bolts, running an alley, banging signs and screaming loudly for the downfall of Omniscribe, drawing the drone's chase. My heart pounds. He's gone, maybe saving us, maybe to his death. Vex curses under his breath, but in a heartbeat we are moving again, the nervousness in the air as thick as the humidity. Reaching the hub, I carefully make my way closer to the interior. I crouch behind a rusted girder, the hub's surveillance nodes pulsing like a heartbeat, their static crackling in my ears. My EMP rig, cobbled from factory scraps, trembles in my hands as I wire it to a node's access port. Sweat beads on my neck, tools sparking under the dim neon glow. I finish splicing the connections, the smell of ozone sharp in my nostrils, and let out a shaky breath. As I activate it, the rig sputters, a glitch in the wiring killing the pulse, a small wisp of smoke creeping from a seam into the night air. No, I mutter, ripping open the casing. Faulty circuits, scavenged junk failing me now. Sentinels hum closer, their visors sweeping the dark, footsteps heavy on the concrete. If they catch me, it's reprogramming. My mind erased, Mira lost forever. My hands shake, but I rewire, stripping cables, rerouting power. Every second a countdown. Taryn kneels beside me, her voice low. You've got this, Kael. Her eyes are steady, a quiet anchor, but the sentinel's hum grows louder, their lights grazing the girder. Go, I hiss, my voice sharp with fear. Take the data pad, run. She hesitates, glancing at the approaching drones, then at me, her hand brushing mine. Her data pad, glowing with Omniscribe camp schematics, is too vital to lose. She looks back once, then sprints into the shadows, her footsteps fading. My implant pulses, a sharp sting behind my ear, as if it feels the weight of losing Mira to this city's machine. I twist the last wire in a hurried splice, hands steadying, and the EMP hums to life. Nodes short out, a symphony of sparks crossing the hub like an ocean wave. Drones stuttering midair before crashing powerless to the ground. A fragile win, seconds before I'm caught. My focus changes to Mira, standing with Vex's crew. I start to approach to convince her to come home as Terran returns from her hiding spot, the danger over. Vex, staring at me with a fire in his eyes and smile on his face. I expected praise. Instead, he turns to his group and roars out, "Charge!" His group surges forward, Mira among them, her dark hair flashing as she runs. She doesn't look back, not once. My heart stops, shock rooting me as they vanish into the hub's shadows, planting the bomb I thought we'd scrapped. They used me, I realize, the EMP clearing their path, my caution a tool for their chaos. The ground shakes, a deafening blast ripping through the night. Smoke chokes the air, and screams pierce the haze. Civilians caught in Vex's fire. I stumble forward, Terran grabbing my arm. I stand frozen, the hub's lights flickering as the blast's shockwave rattles my bones, Terran's face pale but resolute. "Kael, we need to go," she urges, her voice steady but tight. I shake her off, drawn to the blast's edge. The lower district's market lies in ruins, shattered stalls, a child's shoe in the rubble, a woman's body slumped by a cracked neon sign, her ration pack spilled. My throat burns, bile rising. Anger replaces all emotions as I feel the weight of the dead. Back at the Warrens, the hideout's tense, rebels cheering Vex's victory. I shove through, finding him by a console, his smirk infuriating. "Nice EMP technician," he says, voice smug. "Made our job easier." "You killed people," I snarl, fists clenched. "Civilians, Vex. For what?" Mira stands by him, eyes hard, still not looking at me. Vex shrugs. "Sacrifices for the cause. Your toy would have stopped them, what, one day? Two? You'd get it if you weren't so soft." His charisma fills the room, rebels nodding, but Terran's glance steadies me, her silence a lifeline. Alone in a tunnel later, I slump against the wall. Journal open. Code spark, merged to disrupt, it reads, meaningless yet heavy. My implant itches, a faint glow I hide, anger and guilt choking me. I want to drag Mira back, but that's not who I am. "We don't abandon each other," I vow, the promise anchoring me. Terran's voice echoes from the hideout, her intel fueling plans, but Vex's laugh cuts through, bold and dangerous. "The revolution's burning, but it's tearing my sister away. I'll save her no matter what this city throws at me." Chapter 4. Clash of Wills. I wake the next morning to a growing commotion, breathing a little heavy from the mold-tinged air. I rise to investigate. Vex stands on a crate, Terran's datapad glowing in his hand, his scarred jacket catching the light. "We hit the drone factory tomorrow," he declares, voice bold like a spark in ash. "Crush their Sentinel production, gut the Omniscribe's eyes." His crew cheers, but Terran's beside me now, her face tight, her soiled programmer's uniform, a stark contrast to the rebels' patched gear. "He's ignoring the camps," she mutters. "Those schematics show reprogramming centers, people suffering. I argued with him half the night, but he's obsessed with chasing drones." Her eyes meet mine, a shared unease, but Mira's across the room, leaning into Vex's words, her dark hair loose, eyes alight with his fire. I push through the crowd, my heart heavy from last night's hub disaster. "Mira," I call, voice low, desperate. "We need to talk." She turns, her gaze cold, defiant, like Mom used to look at Dad when he wanted to play cards on the Warrens. She scoffs, loud enough for heads to turn. "About what, Kael? Your factory bench? Fixing the Omniscribe's chains?" "I'm fighting for Nexara, not hiding." Her words cut deeper than Vex's taunts, a public jab that stings. Vex smirks. "She's got it, technician. Learn from your sister. We can all learn from your sister that it's time for action." Rebels cheer, and my fists clench, the journal in my jacket a silent anchor. Mira's slipping further away, and I worry she has slipped too far for my reach. Vex waves off my glare, his plan rolling on. The factory's weak, old security, easy to crack. We blow it, we blind them. I step forward, voice steady, despite the anger coiling in my gut. Blowing it kills workers, Vex. Like the hub, did you tell them what else is in that pad? I turn to the crowd, raising my voice. There are camps, we have the locations, people being kept awaiting memory wipes. Taryn nods, her hand brushing mine, a warmth I barely notice. Kael's right, she says. The camps are where they reprogram people, like my brother. Why ignore that? A few rebels murmur agreement. Jor, a wiry mechanic with grease-stained hands, and Lena, a quiet scavenger who hates blood, start vocalizing questions about the camps. Vex's fiery voice claims the crowd back. The Sentinels protect the camps. We stop the Sentinels first. Mira nods with him, her disrespect a blade in my chest as Tara and I return to our area, the crowd lost in bloodlust. As we wait for the rally to end, my heart heavy with Mira and Tyra's on the camps, the old rebel from the gate, gray hair, face like cracked leather, stops before us. He gazes at us with the calm look of an old friend. It's a curious matter, he mutters to me and Taryn. Vex has been attacking drones for a year now. His eyes flick to Vex. In all that time, I've never seen less drones. He pauses for a moment with a look of contemplation before continuing on his way. Taryn looks at me, but I have no answers for what he said. I have more to think about than cryptic questionings of an old man. Midday, the energy of mission prep keeping a buzz in the air. A commotion breaks out. 3 rebels burst in, dragging a disabled sentinel, its visor dark, wires trailing like guts. Mira's among them, grinning, oil smudging her hands. The hideout erupts in cheers, rebels clapping her back, Vex raising a fist. That's how we fight, he roars. Mira beams, striking a pose. Foot on the sentinel, hands on hips, a big game hunter with her trophy. She spots me, her grin sharpening. Still playing with wires, Kael? We brought the real prize, fresh intel. The crowd laughs, her mockery slicing deep, my face burning. I start to turn away, her foolishness stinging, but a red flicker sparks across the sentinel's visor. My heart drops, a warning caught in my throat. The sentinel's hum spikes, its arm lashing out, tossing Mira like paper. She crashes into a console, gasping as a rebel's neck snaps in its grip, the crack echoing over the crowd's screams. Rebels scatter, some drawing knives, others diving for cover. A pulse pistol discharges, missing as another rebel screams, caught in the sentinel's grasp, life snuffed out. I sprint toward Mira, dodging a flurry of bodies, her oil-smeared hand reaching up. Mira, I shout, grabbing her arm. I don't wait for her to catch her footing, dragging her to my sleep area. Watch her! I snap at Taryn, ignoring her panicked face, and dive for my signal jammer. A blaster strike scorches the wall by my head, but calm determination steadies me. I push through the chaos, screams drowning my own. The sentinel swipes, 3 more rebels falling. Blood spatters the concrete, their bodies crumpling. It turns to me, visor blazing. Its next target. I raise the jammer, praying it holds against the Omniscribe's tech. It takes a step toward me, hand reaching as sparks fly, its motions choppy, visor flickering. I step closer, holding the beam, until its hum dies, the drone collapsing. Vex charges in, sledgehammer swinging, smashing the sentinel's frame, limbs, head, torso, long after it's down. That's how you kill it, technician, he sneers, wiping sweat from his brow, rebels cheering his name as the savior. I grit my teeth as I notice Jor and Lena nod my way, joined by a few others, their eyes steady amidst the crowd's praise for Vex. You're lucky, Kael. He laughs for the crowd as people gather to give him thanks and praise, dismissing my efforts. The day drags after the excitement, arguments flaring. I corner Mira by a console, my voice low. This isn't you, Mira. Vex's path gets people killed. You just got people killed. We need to go home. She rolls her eyes, her sass cutting. You're the one helping the Omniscribe, Kael. I'm not your kid sister anymore. I grab her arm. You'll always be my kid sister, Mira. You can grow up and do your thing, but not this. This is death. Vex interrupts, his smirk infuriating. Let her fight, technician. She's better at it than you. Mira shoves past me, her mind made up. My eyes lock with Vex, my face a message that I won't back down. After a moment, he saunters off. If I'm going to protect her, I'm committed to this foolish mission. Voices begin to lower, with the mission looming. People are finishing final checks, and loved ones begin settling into what might be a final night. Returning to my area, Taryn lays her arm over me. I notice Jor and Lena, some others joining them, quietly move their belongings closer to my sleeping area. A silent protest against the choices Vex makes, adding to my nervousness. Rebels settle for sleep, but the room divides subtly. Jor and Lena near me, talking EMPs, their tools clinking softly, while Vex's crew huddles around him, sharpening blades, their laughter sharp. I don't want this, leading a faction, picking fights. I just want Mira safe, to take her home, away from Vex's chaos. I open my journal. It's always nonsense to me. Code spark. Merged to disrupt, the memories forgotten, the words stare at me, meaningless but heavy. It's all I have of my parents. My implant pulses faintly, causing that annoying itch, but Mira's face, Mira at 6, asking if we'd be heroes, drowns it out. Taryn's hand brushes mine, her voice soft. Tomorrow's dangerous, Kael. We need sleep. I nod, but my eyes are on Mira, asleep near Vex, her defiance tearing us apart. I barely register the kiss Taryn places on my cheek. The revolution's burning, and tomorrow's strike could break us all. Chapter 5. Breaking Point. The lower districts pulse with dread, the air thick with ash from the ashen veil and the sour sting of chemical haze. It's a heavier feel than normal, heightened tensions after the bomb. I see a sentinel and pause. It's a new model, bigger now, with tank treads clanking as it crushes glass under the tread. That damn bomb made everything worse, I think, returning to the movements of the group. The rebels move like a fractured machine. Vex Taryn struts ahead, his scarred leather jacket catching the neon glow, barking orders to his crew. Mira trails him, her dark hair loose, her eyes cold, avoiding mine. Taryn's at my side. She looks different, brighter now that she's no longer wearing that uniform. Jor and Lena still seem to stick closer to me. I overhear their chatter at times. Factory's a death trap, Jor mutters, grease-stained hands twitching. If those camps are real, we should be attacking them instead, Lena responds. Vex tosses emotion over his shoulder. Everyone immediately pretends to go about everyday activities. As we pretend to shop or have conversation, a drone patrol passes us by. Once it clears the street, Vex lets out a whistle, and we begin moving. Vex looks at me. Hey, technician, you mad we're about to break your toys? A quip at my expense to entertain the troops. My jaw clenches, but I stay silent. Mira's coldness a heavier blow than his words. A sentinel lurches from an alley, its metal claw snatching a wiry rebel from Vex's crew, a kid barely older than Mira, his scavenged pulse gun clattering to the ground. Its visor flares red, Irin's voice booming. Fugitive detected. Disruptive thoughts confirmed. The kid's implant sparks, his scream cuts short as the drone drags him into the haze. Another rebel, eyes wild, reaches for a pistol, but those nearby calm him. The drone factory mission can't fail. The group stays frozen, hearts pounding, as the kid's cries fade. Mira's face is stone, but her eyes flicker with unease. She hides from Vex, her shoulders tense. I want to grab her, shake her, but she's too far gone, lost in his fire. We skirt the district's edge, coming to a trauma camp. Tattered tents patched with tarps, medics with bloodied gloves, and victims from Vex's hub blast. The air reeks of antiseptic and ash, moans mixing with the hum of failing air filters. A cracked neon sign buzzes, its light falling on a girl Mira's age, her dark hair matted with blood, her arm bandaged. Leah, the kid from our old neighborhood, kneels beside her, wrapping gauze with small, steady hands. Her eyes lock on mine, accusing but softer now, like she's torn between blame and hope. The girl groans, and my gut twists. These are Vex's victims. I stop, rage coiling. "This is your cause, Vex?" I snap, voice cutting through the group. "Kids bleeding out in the dirt?" Vex shows no emotion, leaning on a crate. "Sacrifices, technician. You'd get it if you fought." Mira hesitates, her cold facade cracking. She pulls me aside, voice low, conflicted. "I don't want this either, but stop fighting, Vex, Kael. We have to break them. People die either way." Her eyes dart to Vex, nervous, hiding her regret. "Mira, this isn't you," I say, my voice raw. "Come home." She shakes her head, stepping back. "Just leave me alone, Kael. I'm not your kid sister anymore." She rejoins Vex, her silence louder than any taunt. Jor and Lena nod my way, their support clear, but Vex's crew shouts for action, the divide deepening. Taryn grips my arm, whispering, "We could do more good by staying here to help." Mira's choice burns, and Taryn sees my gaze on Mira and knows we're moving on. The drone factory looms, a steel beast under Nexara's chemical sky. Inside, it's a mechanical nightmare. Conveyor belts grind. Sparks fly from half-built sentinels, their blank visors staring like ghosts. Oil slicks the floor, the air hot with a chemical burn. Surveillance nodes pulsing like heartbeats. Hollow screens flash schematics, their hum drowning out our steps. I crouch by a security gate, Taryn's datapad in hand, splicing wires with scavenged tools. Sweat beads on my neck, my implant pulsing painfully, glitching with a faint signal symbol that catches Taryn's eye. She thinks to mention it, but decides not to interrupt me. Vex paces, impatient, sneering. "Hurry up, technician." Mira watches, arms crossed, her coldness a blade in my chest. Jor and Lena guard the perimeter, EMPs ready, their eyes darting. I crack the gate, its lock hissing open, and Vex's crew starts darting in, one by one, keeping hidden. As I stand, Vex places a hand on my shoulder. "Not yet, techie. You make sure that gate stays open." I scoff at how little he knows about technology. We watch as the first men get a building door open and begin moving inside. Vex, eyes constantly darting, watches the scene. The last of the group goes through the gate, making their way to the building. Vex taps me as a signal to go. I look at Taryn and whisper for her to stay. Vex, Mira, and I move to take up the rear. Moving along the walls of sheds and shipping containers, we reach the door. Mira starts to move, and Vex puts a firm grip on both our shoulders. "Wait!" he hisses. "Something isn't right." We wait a moment, a tense silence as Mira and I try to sense what Vex does. The silence breaks with an outbreak of chaos, alarms deafening our ears as through the door I see sentinels swarm from all directions, visors blazing, tasers sparking, the cries and gunfire of the rebels mixing with mayhem. Before I can react, Vex snatches the datapad from my hand and with a big boot on my back, kicks me through the door. Hitting the floor hard, I turn, shocked. "You're too slow, technician," Vex laughs, a surprised look on Mira's face as she takes a step back, glancing at Vex as he grabs the door. He slams it shut, locking me in, drones closing in as my eyes adjust to the darkness. My implant spikes, a sharp pain breaking my confusion and moving me to action. Sentinels continue their attack. I look around in focused panic, seeing nowhere to run. I start to climb, first onto a cabinet, then I jump and grab some pipes running along the wall. The sounds of screaming in the air grow increasingly quiet. It takes all I have to punch a vent free above me, the sound concealed by the last of the blaster fire. Boosting myself off the wall, I make what would be my single attempt at grasping the opening, falling being the result of failure. Some metal cuts into my left hand, and I ignore it, silently pulling myself into the vent as the sentinels begin sweeps for hidden rebels. I lie there, forcing my breathing to be slow. silent, hearing the hums of sentinels passing below me. Realizing the vent cover lying on the floor will get noticed, I force myself to move, sliding through the sticky grime of the vent. At the first connection heading up, I slowly ascend, not knowing where I'm going, but the farther from that floor I get, the safer I feel. I don't feel lucky as I see daylight, the vent leading outside. I imagine nothing awaits me but an army of drones and sentinels. With no other choice, I slam the vent cover free. It lands loudly on the roof, with my body following behind. I crawl along the roof, not caring why I'm not being swarmed. My only thought, escape. Reaching the edge, I hurry, jumping onto a shipping container, risking injury to jump to the ground. I make a full sprint to the gate. It's closed. Bent metal evidence, a sentinel pried it shut. I'm trapped. My mind races when a whistle hits my ears. I look and see Taryn waving frantically and pointing to an old pedestrian gate. We both run toward it from opposing sides, reaching it almost at the same time. Out of breath, I look at her through the fencing. Taryn, I'm done. You need to go. Taryn flashes a look of anger. Not everything is tech, and begins kicking at the hinges. I realize she's right. This gate probably hasn't been used in almost a century, and may be my chance. I take the largest screwdriver I have in my belt and jam it into the hinge, yanking with all my strength. It breaks free, the door swinging half loose. Taryn holds the gate so I can crawl out. Move, she hisses, yanking at me as I snake through the awkward hole. We sprint into the Warrens before we get spotted. We move through the streets and alleys, hurrying as much as we can without drawing attention. Taryn mentions, we should go to the trauma camp. The sentinels were ignoring it. And with a look, she sees my agreement. With a destination decided, I feel more grounded, until the screens light up with my face everywhere. Kael Varkas, Disruptor, wanted. Erin's voice purrs. Report him. Compliance is safety. I'm a fugitive now, cut off from Mira, from everything. Taryn's eyes are fierce, her voice steady. You're not alone, Kael. We slip to a shack on the lower district's edge, its cracked walls barely holding back the ashen veil's haze. A flickering lantern casts jagged shadows, the air heavy with rust and despair. Taryn grabs me. We'll figure this out, and I cut her off. I'm wanted, not you. If you're caught with me, that's a problem, so is scrapping for two. She stares at me for a second, realizing she can help me best by living free. She grabs my cheeks with a raw kiss, a desperate mix of fear and loyalty. Her lips are warm, grounding me in the chaos, but the weight of Mira's choice and Vex's betrayal chokes me. I'll keep her safe, Taryn says, reading my mind, her eyes burning. I nod, clutching my journal, the signal symbol rough under my fingers. I'll be at the camp, she says, as I slip into the shadows, hollow screens flickering with my face. Erin's voice looping as I vanish. A fugitive in Nexara's unforgiving streets. Chapter 6. Who am I without them? I find a pre-Omniscribe library, moldy books crumbling on sagging shelves, their pages brittle under sunbeams from the windows. Abandoned even by scavengers, I see little evidence of recent visitors, dusty footprints barely visible in the gloom. I hunker down, a fugitive in Nexara's forgotten heart, clutching my journal, worried about what I can do now. My implant itches, pulsing faintly behind my ear. Mira at 6 flickers in my mind, her voice small. Will we be heroes? I vowed we would. Now Vex's betrayal and Mira's coldness choke me, my wanted face screaming from hollow screens outside. Fear grips my chest as all hope of a normal life for Mira and me has been crushed. Taryn slips in. A smile crosses my face, not questioning how or being surprised that she knew where I was. Her patched scarf seems brighter than before. Carrying rations and a scavenged chip, she places the supplies down, explaining she's trying to find me enough tech for a communicator. Her tone's worried, eyes scanning me. Rebels are struggling after the factory, Kael, she says. Mira's pushing too hard trying to recruit. My heart sinks. Her recklessness is my failure, My implant pulses, and Taryn's gaze lingers, steady. Before she leaves, she kisses my cheek with a promise to return. I clear a shelf of books, the dust and mold growing thick enough in the air to labor my breathing. If I'm to stay here, at least I'll have cleaning to pass the time. I set the supplies on a shelf, my first act in making this a home. A flash of anger races through me as I place objects from the bag. This is my life now? Everything that's been lost in such a short time, and for what, Mira, to play hero while I'm stuck hiding? I curse loudly, throwing the bag against a wall in a loss of temper, the weight on my shoulders manifesting in a rare moment of display. I'm shot back to reality as the muffled sound of breaking glass emanates from the bag, and I see the creeping darkness of moisture growing in the dust. Thoughts of my own stupidity fill me as I rush to open the bag, but it's too late, and I kneel there looking at my lost water supply, now reduced to wet ground, a soaked bag, and shards of glass spread across a couple drenched ration packs. Taryn doesn't visit again that day or the next. Desperate for water, I risk the neon-lit streets. I tie my shirt as a headscarf, keeping my makeshift turban low on my brow in my best attempt at a disguise. Hollow screens flash my face, my implant itching, making me realize something more is wrong. I've never seen screens ask for help in locating someone before. They just track implants, so why can't they track mine? Drones hum distantly, their visors scanning alleys. The acidic air from the ashen veil in my lungs interrupts my musings. I find a shop that looks less reputable than the rest and barter a trade for my single jammer, the illegal tech fetching 5 gallons of water, a promise of a future 5 gallons, and some hygiene items. I heave the carboy onto my shoulder, and turning to leave, I'm frozen by 2 eyes looking directly at me. It's Leah with accusation in her stare. A screen lights up nearby, displaying my image again. She glances at it and back to me. Her gaze softening slightly, she drops a ration pack and runs off. I grab it, heart pounding, and slip back to the library, water in hand, unseen. Returning to my newfound home, I'm immediately on guard as I catch the outline of a figure in a shadow. The old rebel from the camp steps forward, his cracked leather face grim under a lantern's glow. I tense, journal clutched tight, wondering if he's here to betray me like Vex, but his calm disarms me. "I worked with your parents," he says, his voice low. "My name is Elias. I knew who you were, but it wasn't until I saw your journal." He pauses. "I thought it was lost, and without the journal, there was nothing to say." He moves to take a dusty seat. I lower the water, releasing a cloud of dust, still on guard against this intruder. "You worked at the factory with them?" I question. His wrinkles break into a smile as he shakes his head. "I worked with them as programmers. They went to work in the factory to make hardware for the software we created, and the Omniscribe killed them when it suspected them." Shocked but relaxing, I take a ration pack to quench my hunger, only half believing him. I ask him to continue. "They smuggled code in your implant to destroy the system. Your dad even invented the signal symbol, a silly doodle we used to mark things that had to do with the plan." I question. "And what is this plan?" A mix of emotion inside me, wanting to believe him while also wanting to throw him out. He smiles. "The plan was simply to erase the Omniscribe. Kill it. We developed code to break its firewall, and your parents ended up hiding it in that implant of yours. It's not supposed to be in your head still. The plan was to retrieve it when safe, but then they were murdered. That journal," he says, pointing at my jacket, "holds the keys for unlocking the files. Code Spark, merged to disrupt. That confusing stuff is passwords. When I saw back at the base you kept it, well, let's just say I never gave up on wanting to kill Erin." He recounts etching the first signal on a wall, defiant and angry over their deaths, a sign of mourning he never knew would grow into a movement. My implant sparks, my anger surging. They died for this. Taryn returns later that day. 2 bags of supplies under her arms, pausing at the sight of me with Elias. We fill her in, and I watch a mixture of excitement as a programmer and worry for me spin in her eyes. Taryn holds my hand, her care grounding me as she asks Elias, "What exactly can be done?" Elias sinks back, thinking, anticipation making the dust in the air feel light. He leans forward. "We can remove the implant, but at Kael's age, it will kill him. The plan was to remove it much younger. The other option is to unlock it while it's still in him, which could also kill him if done wrong." I look at Taryn and squeeze her hand. She returns the worried look before turning to Elias. "What good would unlocking it do if we can't remove it?" Elias smirks, raising his eyebrows to insinuate he's not making a suggestion. If Kael somehow found himself in the core room, connected to the Omniscribe without firewalls, well, that's a simple upload. The weight of his suggestion, its impossibility, leaves me silent, Elias and Taryn waiting. The implant itches as I think of Mira, my factory job, my home, everything I've lost. My mouth opens, the words broken, lacking confidence. "I can't," I stumble out, meeting their eyes sheepishly. "I just need to find a way to keep Mira and me safe." I retreat to my makeshift kitchen, the path symbolic of my choice. Curfew looms, Arin's voice blaring outside. Compliance is safety. Elias and Taryn rise to leave. Taryn kisses my cheek, promising to return the next day. Elias stares a moment before uttering, "No kiss, but I'll be back also. Maybe we can figure out how to stop the pain." I'm alone, journal open, implant pulsing, Mira's 6-year-old voice echoing. I can't abandon her. That means no unnecessary risk. I lie back, the faint buzz of patrolling drones, a familiar lullaby to my slumber. Morning light filters through cracked library windows. Elias returns, grim. "Rebel base is in bad shape," he says. "Most able-bodied men are gone." After a shared cup of hot protein tea, the journal comes out and implant work starts. Shutting it down by locking files doesn't have the same risk as unlocking files and triggering security protocols. It's slow going, but as we progress, I feel less irritation from my implant, a strange new relief. Each time we decode a part of the journal, lock a file, I'm energized to conquer the next. Taryn arrives that afternoon, hurried pace, no supplies, face grim. "Mira's captured," she says, voice breaking. "Swarmed by droids and sentinels while shopping. Strange, sudden, no rebels nearby." My guilt and rage surge, my implant spiking painfully, nearly knocking me down. Taryn vows to help, blurting information at a pace I can't keep up with, still in shock. Elias steps forward. "Kael, if you want your sister back, there aren't enough rebels for a rescue." My eyes flash at him, burning into his soul. I know what he means, and I smell manipulation. "Did you do this, old man?" I roar, Taryn holding my shoulder. Elias steps back, shock on his face. He stumbles an answer, but Taryn calms me. "He was with me last night, Kael. He didn't have time to get home before curfew. He couldn't have done it." I clutch the journal, my thumb running circles around the signal symbol. I study Elias and Taryn, questioning everything. A ping of pain from my implant, my anger at Mira turning my heart into molten steel, my own voice booms in my head. We don't abandon each other. I look at Elias. "I'll infiltrate the core to save Mira, no matter the cost." Taryn's grip on my shoulder shifts to a reassuring touch. Elias leaves for rebel intel, promising hard work the next day. Curfew warnings echo in the air. Taryn stays, kissing me passionately, her lips warm, desperate, her scarf brushing the journal's signal symbol. She holds my hand, leading me to the bed area, her presence grounding me. A distant explosion echoes, rebel unrest rising, as I vow to fight for Mira, my dad's signal burning in my chest. Chapter 7. Ghosts and Mirrors. The library hums with activity, scavenged tech buzzing, damp mold thick in the air. I hunch over my journal with Elias, decoding code Spark, merged to disrupt passwords. Each attempt could be my last, as my implant sparks, a partial core map flickering, revealing a server hub path. Another file opens, successfully but painfully. Taryn darts in and out, scavenging supplies, her mood bright despite the conditions. She sees my wince against the pain, taking time to steady my hand as the implant stings. Elias's cracked leather face stays grim, his focus representing a lifelong quest. Taryn, preparing another excursion, warns, Sentinel patrols are tightening since Mira's capture. It's hard to move around out there. I understand her warning. Getting to the core won't be easy. As she leaves, I mutter to Elias, it's not just Mira, it's getting my life back, everyone's. Elias gives a knowing nod, still studying the journal, wanting Arin dead as much as I do. Taryn returns, face tense. Vex approached me, offering tech and weapons to rescue Mira. Elias and I exchanged looks, his factory betrayal reinforcing our suspicions. Why would he care? I growl. We can't trust him. I've only seen him care about himself. Elias nods in agreement, but Taryn protests. Kael, he's a monster in his way, but he seems broken and looking for a win. He always seemed to care for Mira, plus the equipment he's offering, we need it. Begrudgingly, we agree to meet Vex elsewhere, away from the library, in case of betrayal. Taryn leaves to deliver the message, her eyes worried but fierce. Implant work grinds on, the map clearer, my resolve stealing. Taryn returns, surprising us with Lena in tow, her face pale, eyes haunted. Taryn, what the hell? I question, hurrying to Lena. How are you still alive? Lena begins to mention the factory, her dinner plans, betrayal, a recent promotion at work. I look at Taryn, confused. Taryn, with a look of sympathy toward Lena, tries to explain. On my way back, I found her wandering the Warrens. They messed up her brain, Kael, but she has lucid moments and something important to say. I watch Lena, stumbling through jumbled sentences like she's having a normal conversation. I'm about to give up when she winces, a wince I recognize all too well from my own implant pain. Most at the factory were killed. Jor, gone. Lena chokes, her conversation suddenly normal. I was reprogrammed, but something went wrong. 2 lives crammed into my head. I never got erased. Her voice breaks. It hurts, Kael. It's too much. Taryn and I move together to console her. She steps back, taking a deep breath. Wait, before I lose it, you have to know Vex tipped the Sentinels at the factory, gave up Mira. My implant spikes, rage surging. While they reprogrammed me, I could see things. Things in the Omniscribe, and I saw that clearly. My anger is a palpable flavor in the air. Taryn looks at me in concern as Lena continues, Kael, they took Mira to get to you. The Omniscribe can't see your implant. She starts talking about the factory, but her other life creeps in, her language becoming a mess as Taryn leads her to a seat. Elias waits patiently for me to process and calm down. I turn to him coldly. He needs to die. Elias nods. We'll get Vex's tech, then take revenge when we can. We head to a crumbling warehouse, neon signs flickering outside. Taryn stays with Lena, coaxing intel. Vex arrives with 3 companions, gear heavy. Sorry for the factory, technician, he says, not cocky but hollow. But like your sister kept saying, you spend your life fixing their toys. I'll help save your sister, no tricks. She's a good fighter, and we consider her family also. Knowing his treachery, Elias and I play along, inspecting bombs and rifles. Vex boasts, distracted, showing off poorly constructed jammers. I see my chance, an open elevator shaft. I lunge, knocking him back with all I have. Elias, snatching a pulse gun, holds Vex's men back from the fight. Not letting him find footing, I continue in a full sprint, crashing into him with no regard for myself. His shouts filled with confusion. I have him at the edge. Mirroring his factory kick, I snarl, my boot landing solid and shoving him backward. He stumbles, eyes wide, a final kick sending him over the edge. A scream echoes, then silence. Elias holds the pulse gun on Vex's men, steady, a look of shock and confusion on their faces. "You're with us or you leave," I say, revealing Vex's betrayal as I wipe the sweat from my brow. Two men, Troy and Franklin, nod, joining us. The third bolts. We haul the gear, bombs, rifles, tech, back to the library. Troy and Franklin prep weapons, their hands steady with the focus of seasoned fighters. Taryn works with Lena, piecing together intel for the core mission. Elias and I unlock the implant's final files, the map solidifying, the pain finally subsiding for the first time in my life. Night falls, curfew warnings blaring, Erin's voice purrs, disruptors will be erased. Sentinels hum closer, but Mira's reprogramming looms. We can't wait. Taryn's hand grazes mine, her scarf bright in the lantern's glow. Lena's haunted eyes meet mine, Troy and Franklin nodding, Elias grim but ready. We slip into the neon-lit streets, navigating alleys, hollow screens flashing my face. The core's skyscrapers loom, their glow a challenge. I clutch the journal, Mira's 6-year-old voice echoing. Will we be heroes? As our group moves toward the target, hearts pounding, ready to fight for her. Chapter 8. Return and Resolve. Neon flickers in the Warren's damp tunnels, sentinels patrolling relentlessly around us, the night silent aside from their clanging. I clutch my journal, its signal symbol grounding me as we dodge patrols, hearts pounding. Troy curses, retreating into the shadows as a sentinel splits our group. Lena's haunted eyes dart. Elias's grim look of judgment brings her along. Taryn's scarf catches the glow, her voice steady. Keep moving, core's close. A drone's hum fades. We slip deeper. At the core's security wall, sentinels loom, visors shining red in the dark. Franklin darts off to assess the situation as we group to discuss the task ahead. Lena mutters gibberish, factory, dinner plans. Elias moving to quiet her. Too many sentinels for a fight, Troy whispers. Elias mentions seeing the wall built, our bombs useless. Franklin returns, reporting guards stretch endlessly. Lena's gibberish grows louder. Elias is about to cover her mouth when she points to an old building, excitedly motioning us to follow. I say aloud, she doesn't know she's talking gibberish. Look at her eyes. She knows something but can't get it out. The group stiffens, looking at Lena, and follows without a word. Entering the building, Lena leads to stairs, walls and ceilings bulging with age. We share knowing looks. You don't descend old buildings if you want to live. Franklin, eyes locked on mine, firmly shakes his head no when Lena breaks lucid. There are tunnels. They go everywhere, used to be subways. This one gets us into the core. Reluctant looks shared, we descend crumbling stairs, mold choking our lungs. A rusty gate bars the path. Lena's intel proves true as we pry it open, breaching the core easily with a forgotten path. We encounter other gates, old and decayed, offering minimal resistance. I smile at Lena, her eyes fiery with pride, her Omniscribe curse helping kill it. Emerging into the city, sentinels swarm before we find our bearings, visors locking on. We fire jammers and rifles, sprinting down an alley, neon signs buzzing overhead. Franklin's pulse gun hums. Troy's bombs shake the ground. Lena stumbles. Elias pulls her up. My implant sparks, pain sharp. We dive behind debris, breath ragged, sentinels' tasers grazing walls. They focus on us. We bolt, firing back, seeking escape. Franklin stops, grinning, tossing a bomb at a scaffold, sprinting past us. The bomb roars, steel crashing in screaming metal, dust clouding the alley. Drones smash in its descent, sentinels blinded, paths blocked. We slip into a closed store, shelves rusted, glass cracked, catching our breath. Troy fist bumps Franklin when a hollow screen flares. Erin, smirking. Your implants betray you, Kael. Give up, and they go home. I hesitate. This is Erin talking directly to us. Mira's face fills my mind. I'm about to ask her fate, but Troy unzips. A stream hits the glass, droplets falling. We turn away, except Franklin, red-faced, laughing. I clench my journal, ignoring the sounds, convincing myself. Erin's lying. Mira's counting on me. This is the way to save her. With Troy's mission done, I toss jammers to everyone. They worked for tolls. They'll block Erin. Keep them in your pocket. We move, neon haze thick. Blocks later, a drone squad hums above, spotted but keeping its distance, tracking us. Troy and Franklin's rifles snap up, rhythmic fire precise, drones sparking as they crash. Target practice, Franklin roars, laughing as Troy scans the skies. Sentinels swarm our old spot. We slip to a new alley, hearts racing. Hollow screens flare citywide, Erin's voice purring. Lethal curfew active. All citizens inside until hostiles eliminated. Have a nice day. My implant pulses, dread coiling. We avoid patrols, breaking into a nightclub across from the central hub. Its tinted windows, perfect cover. The hub looms, sentinel shoulder to shoulder, visors glowing, the Omniscribe turning it into an impenetrable fortress. From a shadowed nook we plan, drones buzzing. Franklin turns to Taryn. Programmer? At her nod, he hands her a bubbled disk. Juiced up EMP, jammer codes, unprogrammed. Taryn's fingers fly. Over her shoulder, I see the goal but builder errors. I fix the wiring, sweat beading, muttering to Taryn, "This may work. Look at the power core." Taryn's scarf brushes my arm as we work, our eyes locking in fierce competition. Lena's gibberish loudens, excited chatter and movements. I twist the final connection, but my victory over Taryn is ignored as I calm Lena. Elias and Troy move in concern. The EMP humming, Lena yelling about stopping at a shop. Troy and I share a thought. Her eyes don't move, and turn to follow her gaze when blaster fire erupts. Vex, bloody, battered, limping from shadows, rifle raised. His shot hits Elias, who screams, collapsing. Everyone dives, even Lena. Vex roars, "I'll end you, Kael." My back against a bar, Lena crawls to Elias, Troy and Franklin taking positions, Taryn on the floor, still programming. Rage surges, but over Franklin's head, out the window, sentinels move. Chapter 9. The Cost of Truth. Blaster fire cracks the alley. Troy and Franklin took up positions, shouting between each other, holding sentinels back, their bombs shaking the neon-lit core. Taryn hunches over the EMP, programming frantically, her eyes twitching as she reads and edits code. Lena tends to Elias, mumbling about next week's bake sale, his wound bleeding, moaning softly. I trade shots with Vex, his bloody face snarling, "You've already lost her techie." My implant spikes, rage fueling me as I duck behind debris. Vex screams, "You're weak. Me or the sentinels, who gets to kill you?" Blaster fire rains down the hall as he moves from one doorway to the next. Troy whistles at me, catching my attention. He yells at me, "Hot potato," and tosses me a bomb. I hurl it, bouncing it down the hall. Everyone recoiled at the deafening sound, the air instantly becoming a mix of dust, particles, and terror. The hallway exploded in a mix of smoke, ash, and plaster, the blast stunning or killing Vex, the sound of his rifle clattering music to my ringing ears. A sentinel smashes through a wall, visors blazing, drawing all attention. I join Troy and Franklin in unleashing a hellish barrage of fire, but as it falls, another is already in its place. A second wall crumbles, another sentinel invading our short-lived haven. Franklin is moving back, Troy about to follow. I move to grab Elias, not willing to leave him, yelling at Lena to run. Taryn, seemingly unaware of the chaos, methodically closes a screen and with a slight grin presses a small, rubbery green button, wholly consumed with the satisfaction of a programmer executing their creation. A sickening pulse dazing us all, I dropped onto weak knees as the room does a quick spin. I saw Lena throw up a little, swallowing it back down to save embarrassment, and I promise myself I will never mention it. Sentinels go limp, and drones start bouncing off the ground like hail. Screens blank. Lights out. The hub's glow gone. Neon haze, now just haze. A silence descends on us like a heavy blanket. Eyes dart to each other as we recover. I'm the first to stand, wobbling legs as I pick up my rifle, a dead look in my eyes as I turn to finish something left undone. I stand over Vex, hissing, "Traitor!" He coughs blood, half laughing. I raise my rifle, giving him the respect to shoot him in the face while looking in his eyes. His laugh continues. "You'll be a traitor soon enough," turning his head and pointing to his scar, no implant. "Parents removed it when I was a kid." He coughs out. "She can't see me either, so you know what she did? She took my kid Techie, Omniscribe doesn't lose, Kael, now she took your sister, and you'll be a traitor to save her." I snarl, "I'm saving her. Omniscribe dies today." Vex coughs some more blood. I watch him lay back, staring at the ceiling. For the first time, I hear him speak plainly. "Do it, Techie. I'll see my son this way. Good luck being a hero." I watched him down the barrel of my rifle. I'll never know if it was sympathy, a morality, or just wanting him to die slowly. But I leave him, his words heavy but dismissed as I refocus on my goal. I see Taryn holding her head, still gathering herself after the EMP. Lena is back to aiding Elias, the bleeding under control. Troy and Franklin were missing for a moment until I spotted them across the street, already working on a bomb to blow the hub door. I begin moving to join them as Taryn's hand touches my shoulder. Our eyes lock through our dust-caked faces, and after a quick check on Elias, we move toward the hub together. Franklin apologizes. "We used all the small ones," as both he and Troy keep motioning for us to back away farther. Their bomb erupted with a roar. A good part of the wall disintegrated, sending the actual door into fictional legends. We rush in through the dust, rifles raised, expecting active sentinels protected by the building's hardening. We were met by a polished lobby, a sparkling marble reception desk, long cleared of office equipment or supplies, its cleanliness a contrast to its emptiness. A screen flares. Erin, a serious flare in her eyes. "Kael, stop now, you live, comply." My verbal response surprised even me, and made Troy's earlier stunt seem respectful. I glance over at Taryn, feeling the need to apologize, when Franklin clutches his implant, screaming. Moving to assist, Erin's cackled laugh fills the air as Franklin swings his rifle, a single blast dropping Troy with a smoldering hole in his chest. Franklin, with a hollow look in his eyes, turns his gun on me. My breath frozen, I look at the barrel, and my world becomes so small, my vision tunneled to match that hole at the end of his gun, as my thoughts give an apology to Mira for failing. The blast rings out, and it takes me a moment to process Franklin dropping, hit from the doorway. A single blink of my eyes grounds me to reality, breaking the hypnotic state. I turn to the door, expecting a wounded Elias. It's Vex, hunched, wounded, barely able to hold his rifle. "Kill that bitch, Kael," he gasps, "or I kill you." I don't question it. I take Taryn by the arm, and we half sprint to the hub door. Taryn gets to work hacking into the door access. I pace, no weight on my shoulders, just determination and impatience. One last door, and I can end the Omniscribe and Erin's smug face. The doors slide open with a labored hiss, and stale air wafts into the room. Taryn beams a giant, proud smile. Celebrate later, I think. "Okay, let's get this done." I nod to Taryn, her brow furrows, as she answers, "I can't. There is a steady stream of countermeasures. Unless you want us locked in there forever, I need to keep working here." My heart slowed, my thoughts grounded. This whole time I pictured us all facing Erin. That image has been dwindled by loss to Taryn and I. Now it feels like Taryn is here, Mira is through the door. It feels like a choice I'm not ready to make. Taryn seems to sense my turmoil, stepping close, cupping my dust-filled hair. She goes on her toes and locks our lips, a moment extending into eternity where the only feeling is heartbeats, the only sound is our breathing. Lowering herself, she locks her eyes with mine, whispering, I'll be here keeping you safe. See if you can find my brother in there. She smiles before turning back to the access panels, and I march with purpose into the main hub. I face the Omniscribe core, a glowing monolith, wires pulsing like veins. Irin's screen looms, voice trembling. I see it now. You carry code to delete me. I step forward. A gift from my parents, I announce, feeling the connection to the Omniscribe, feeling there is no resistance, that it's over. It's their signal. You killed them. I didn't much like that, so I think I'll kill you. I say, pacing a little, enjoying seeing the fear. She laughs. A screen lights up, showing Mira in a cell. My anger reaches Irin, though the connection. Temper, Kael, but if you want to save her, you'll need me. I can let you both go home. You can have your sister, your job, your life back in exchange for deleting that signal code. I laugh. I kill you and I get it all back anyway. She laughs, hysterical. Delete me, and Mira's mind blanks. Everyone's mind blanks. A screen shows a young man, mid-20s, a reprogramming process as she continues. I can't change minds I don't own. She cackles. The implants give me their minds, and I keep them here. Deleting me means deleting everyone. I falter. But they would be free, I mutter. Irin taunts. They'll starve, wander a city falling apart, free but empty of any knowledge, free of the shackles of me, but also their friendships. Family, your own sister won't remember you. I muse, wondering if this is another lie. She sneers. Erase the code. Take your sister and go. A door hisses open. Mira leaves the screen and appears through the shadows, staring at me, unable to release her terror. She's questioning if this is real. Her deal, reprogram and take Mira, tempts me, but Mira's face steals my resolve. Who the hell do you think you are? I snap. A computer, built by humans now controlling us? My only regret is I can't kill your programmer. Irin's laugh echoes, oddly like a parent laughing at a child doing something silly. You're not controlled by a computer, Kael. I'm human. She takes on an almost motherly tone. I'm Irin Varkas, the programmer you said you wanted to kill a moment ago. I hope you change your mind. I uploaded my consciousness to the Omniscribe and have been keeping you all safe all these years, so how about we have you take Mira home now? I pause. It's more lies. Looking at Mira, I probe my connection to the Omniscribe, trying to figure the truth. Irin snaps from the screen with anger. Comply or I will have your own sister kill you. And I felt it. Through the connection, I felt Irin's anger. I felt Irin. I look back through the door, smiling at the thought of Taryn working tirelessly to keep me safe. I look at Mira, the tears streaming her face. I lock eyes with her, a smile, beaming love. She takes a cautious step forward as I tell her, this way you'll never forget me and I'll never abandon you. Before Irin can sense my plan, I upload myself. My implants code spark, merge to disrupt, flooding the core with myself. Irin screams, my presence joining her in a violent push, trapping her in a digital struggle as I battle her for control. I'm fully focused. If she gives an inch to reprogram a human, so much as check production in a factory, I take that ground from her, saving Mira's memories, everyone's memories, releasing them from Irin's hold as long as I hold her. I slip a little, just a moment, seeing Mira and Taryn crying over my lifeless body through the cameras. It warms me that they hold each other, becoming family. Before returning to Irin, I send them a message, lighting up all the screens with the signal my father's silly doodle.
Chapter 10. The Weight of Hope. The lower districts hum with grit and purpose, a cramped rebel HQ buzzing under flickering neon. I'm hunched over a sewer repair plan, scribbling notes for clean water, when Miguel's shout cuts through. Mira, I turn, his boots scuffing the concrete as he jogs up, face grim. Drones in Sector 2, he says, catching his breath. Small swarm, could be Irin. My jaw tightens, Kael's absence a blade in my chest. I motion to Franklin, his arm still slung from Vex's shot a year ago. His new commander's role suits him. "Check it out," I say. He salutes, a flicker of Troy's old swagger in his eyes, and ready for excitement. He heads off. I excuse myself for a meeting with Elias in the next district, leaving Miguel in charge of operations, grabbing a packed breakfast, ration bread, and synth fruit. I snatch my meeting notes and head off. The weight of leadership presses, but Kael's ongoing fight drives me forward. The core ruins loom, a skeletal husk under Nexara's chemical sky. Terran's in the Omniscribe, talking to a blank screen, her scarf catching the dim glow of rusted consoles. She murmurs to the void, hoping Kael hears, her fingers tracing the screen's edge. I set the breakfast beside her, the smell of bread cutting the moldy air. "How long will you keep doing this?" I ask, voice soft. Terran smiles, eyes tired but fierce. "We don't abandon each other, Mira, you know that." She pauses, shifting gears. Got a session with Lena later, still erasing that fake life bit by bit. Her programmer's grit mirrors Kael's, and I swallow hard, missing him. After some small talk, I leave her to her ghosts, the hum of the core fading as I head to the public square. A hollow screen flares in the lower districts. Irin's voice purring, "Comply." The crowd tenses, but the screen glitches. Kael's face screams fight, his eyes blazing through static. Cheers erupt, fists raised. My implant pulses, a warm spark in my skull. Kael does that every time, I think. Smiling, his way of saying he loves me. The rebellion lives in his digital fight, holding Irin at bay. The people never forget. Whether hourly or weekly, they always cheer for my brother. In every district, the cheer is citywide. It's a weight of what we've lost, and a reminder of what we won. Elias's district HQ is a rusted shell, signal marks carved into crumbling walls. He greets me, his cracked leather face softening. 1 year since Kael, he says, handing me a knife etched with the signal. For you, Mira, it was your mother's. After a sober moment of reflection and pleasantries, we sit, discussing Nexara's fractured state, some districts allied, others hostile, one hoarding rations. They're starving their own, Elias growls. We'll bring them in line. 2 other district leaders are on board with intervention. His resolve steadies me, Kael's legacy in every word. I grip the knife, nodding, ready to unify this city. Heading home, I detour into the market. A close eye on supply and trade prevents problems. The market pulses with chaos, neon stalls flickering, a rebel-turned farmer selling with signal-etched tools. A fight erupts over rations, shouts, a crate smashing, fists flying. I rush in, yelling, "Enough!" My voice cuts through, but the crowd surges, and I worry about a riot. Vex, now police chief for my district, strides up with his men, their hands firm but gentle. They take down the troublemakers with reserved precision. It's the governance I want, not Irin's iron grip. The crowd disperses, and I exhale, grateful for the members of this community that share my dream, Kael's dream. After things settle, I talk to Vex at the market's edge, his scarred jacket catching the neon. People are easier than sentinels, he grins before sharing a hug. I question him on his needs, the state of the police. I agree to get armor to protect his men, as some groups are getting more violent. Torin, his 5-year-old, sprints up, clutching a toy drone, chattering about its buzz. "Dad, look," he squeals, then bolts to Leah, who's painting a signal mural on a bombed-out wall. She guides his small hand, red paint slashing the circle, her eyes bright with hope. His voice gruff, Vex says, "I still can't believe I got him back. Every morning I wake up terrified it's a dream, his eyes never leaving Torin." I place a comforting hand on his arm. He turns to me, saying softly, "Do you know I never cheer when your brother appears?" I feel like my heart's been stabbed, physically recoiling. Vex responds with that giant, cocky grin. "I'm too busy watching the crowd for someone not cheering, so I can, police them a little in an alley." After scolding him for his humor, we plan an official meeting in a couple of days to discuss further issues. Back at HQ, Franklin returns, arms slung, grinning. "Sector 2 drones. Kids prank," he says, chuckling. "Troy'd have bombed them for fun. I sent them home, suggested they start coming around for programming training." My implant pulses as screens glitch again. Erin's comply, twisting to Kael's fight. I smile. The city cheer warms me like Kael's hugs when I was a child. The day's weight settles, but we're holding on. Evening paints the skyline in purple and green neon. On a rooftop, Taryn and Lena settle at their hacked holoscreen, broadcasting hope, resolve, and cooperation citywide. Taryn's scarf glows, Lena's eyes clear as her fake life fades. Rebels below raise signal-etched knives, a quiet vow to unify districts. I watch, feeling Kael's fight in every pixel, hoping more will join us. Night falls, and I slip into Kael's apartment. The fifth floor walk-up cluttered with his scavenged tech. Alone, I trace the journal's signal symbol, its leather worn like his hands. I open it, reading "We don't abandon each other" on the first page. Was it Kael's pen or our parents'? A memory hits. Kael at 6, promising we'd be heroes, his voice small but fierce. Tears fall, a sob breaking free. I miss him, his duty, his fight, mirroring my own today, leading, mending, never abandoning. At the city's edge, the ashen veil looms, its haze choking the stars. A hollow screen flickers, Kael's fight glitching faintly, his digital ghost battling Erin. I grip the journal, whispering, was it worth it? Loss claws me, Kael gone, Nexara fractured. But Torin's laughter echoes, Leah's mural glowing nearby. They're the future Kael bought. My implant pulses, warm, like his hand on mine. It was worth it, I decide, the signal burning in my chest, guiding us forward.
I hope you enjoyed that dystopian sci-fi thriller, Nexara, Signal of Defiance. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more stories from the Story Forge Haven.